Hello, Aquarius. I'm just getting comfortable here. I'm ready for your reading. We're doing shadow readings today, so quick warning if you haven't seen any of my other videos on this. Shadow work is what it actually means is we're going to look at the kind of deep, dark, hidden, secret parts of ourselves. It can be like suppressed memories. It can be emotional things that we haven't dealt with. If it's based on, I think, Carl Jung's kind of philosophies and people like Freud as well with the id. So yeah, it's the hidden, dark, buried things within ourselves that kind of we avoid looking at or we avoid dealing with, and then they manifest in unwanted ways in our lives. So it could be you have problems with desire, and therefore you suppress your desires and they come out in unwanted ways. So it could be like overeating or getting very embarrassed around certain people that you're attracted to. So there are a lot of ways that it kind of trips us up. You can look at things like imposter syndrome. There's so many different things. And it basically, these readings are designed to kind of trigger us, to bring things up to the surface for us to kind of look at and think about and kind of deal with and process and get out of the way so that we can get on with our lives and these things will stop being a problem for us. So it's just a maturing, right? A maturing of ourself. So if you are undergoing therapy or you have mental health problems at the moment, it may not be the right time for you to look at this reading. It may not be complementary to the professional advice that you're already getting. But if you think you're ready for it, and you think you can handle doing this shadow work, we'll see what we have for you. It may fit, it may not. Leave it if it's not your reading, it's just someone else's reading this time. And I promise next week I'll do much nicer readings for everybody as a bit of a reward for doing this shadow work. So let's see what we have. Intuitively, I've got this thing with you about like public and private. So it's your public self and your private self. They're drawing my attention again to Rome. I've got a classics degree, and the way the houses were designed and things, Rome was a very public life. A lot, everybody knew what everybody was up to. Basically, there were no secrets. Your life was a performance. Funny, Cappy just had something like that yesterday. So there's this, for you, for Aquarian energy, it's coming through as restrictive, because you are quite an experimental sign. You like to be progressive. You like to feel like you have a lot of freedom in your life to make your own choices. Kind of Sagittarian as well. You don't really want to be like painted into a box or painted into a corner. I've got that somebody may have literally painted themselves into a corner at some point, so that's quite funny. Like literally you've been painting. So the public life, it's brilliant because you're the star card in the tarot. So naturally you are kind of sometimes the center of attention. You may have the limelight on you sometimes. You're kind of naturally good at handling that, but then you have this kind of shadow element of being like, but it's restrictive, but now I have people's eyes on me, now I face people's judgment, where I kind of want to do things in secret a little bit. And that secrecy, that private life, is your freedom, is the way that that's coming through. So yeah, there's something with that. Then as I was tuning into the energies, I do kind of chakra work. I sit in a yoga pose and I open up to the universe, but they kind of overlaid on me this image of a Buddhist statue. When I say they, I don't know who they are, wherever the messages come from, right? I know I sound crazy. Shush Aquarius. just go along with it. I mean, you're here at a tarot reading, so you've got to have some open-mindedness to this kind of stuff, right? But yeah, I saw like a Buddhist statue, I'd say, but I feel like it's Cambodian because it had one of those like stepped hats. They have like this shaped face, and then it's like a steepled hat. So yeah, I feel like that's Cambodia kind of way. I feel like it is Buddhist. And he had, I think it was his right hand was like this in front of his chest and his solar plexus chakra, and then the other hand was down, but I couldn't see that as clearly. So I kind of mimicked the pose, and I was getting this kind of like, so if you think like of this being my body. So you're looking at my chest, like my hand in front of my chest, and then this was like this. So there was this like latitude and longitude, I've probably got that the wrong way, thing coming through of like horizontal and vertical. So there may be something with horizontal and vertical lines for you at the moment. You may be just playing with your kids and they're doing that thing where you pat your head and rub your stomach at the same time, you know, like something to do with like coordinating. Sorry, this is like coming through separately to the messages I've written down, like coordinating two separate things, but it's kind of like it's quite difficult to do those two different actions. You have to kind of really focus on it. But yeah, latitude and longitude came through. It could be something to do with map reading, or like I'm hearing circumnavigating, and they're showing me a compass. I asked for words to come through, and I got aqua cross. Now you are Aquarius, so it could be that you are cross, you know, Aquarius is cross. Aqua cross, sounds to me like it's some kind of like sports thing though. Aqua cross, like lacrosse, but you play it in the water. So I wrote down fitness and sport could be something. Somebody could be cross. With latitude and longitude, I kind of heard cross Atlantic. Somebody could be crossing the Atlantic for some reason. I asked for names. They gave me Rose and Jack, which seemed very appropriate because Rose and Jack are the names of the lead characters in the Titanic movie, and they did indeed cross the Atlantic Ocean. So somebody could be taking a boat journey. Titanic could be a thing. I asked for another name, and they gave me Arthur, and then they went Arthur Pendragon. And I was like, okay, that's a very specific name. So somebody could be called Arthur. Somebody could have a relative called Arthur. But there could be something to do with King Arthur as well. They're telling me Merlin now. So maybe you've been watching the TV show or something to do with King Arthur. I don't know. Arthur Pendragon. Funny because Cappy had this weird thing with like dragons coming through as well. Like dragons was like something. Then they gave me, and I'm sorry, this isn't very politically correct. It's a little bit Carry On movie, but they gave me Arthur or Martha. Arthur or Martha. I think that's in 13 going on 30 as well. It's saying who are you attracted to, right? You're attracted to men or women. But this could be something to do with it being King, Arthur, Martha, like a masculine name and a feminine name. It could be something to do with like a kingship and you know, can a woman hold a king's position coming through there? Something to do with like gender politics and the right to rule. I did just have a quick look at Libra's reading again, and they had a very similar message coming through with yeah, just gender politics. So there could be something in that to do with like kingship. Who should lead? Should it be Arthur or Martha? Okay. The song that came through, randomized on Spotify for you, was Space and Time by Wolf Alice. So somebody could be healing from something. It says, I want my body and mind to get better. I need space, I need time. And then it says losing control of my body, my moods, my decisions, and my money. So somebody may feel very out of control. You may be dealing with somebody who's out of control. It's funny because again, that Libra reading had something about Britney Spears, like the last song that randomized for them as their advice song was My Prerogative by Britney Spears. All these people talking about me, you know, I just want to live, something like that, she says in that song. And if you know about Britney Spears at the moment and what's going on for her, if you've been watching the news, you know, there is definitely something to do there with the patriarchy and women and women's right to make their own decisions. So somebody could be dealing with somebody who's perhaps healing from something, perhaps healing from an injury that's affected their judgment, or perhaps they have some kind of something going on health-wise that means that they have this lack of control. Especially I'm really drawn to like money as well. So wild mood swings, can't control the money. I'm hearing acting out. Maybe they just need space and time. So take that however it resonates, okay? There's different ways you could take those messages, however they resonate. Could be dealing with a Libra. Interestingly enough, the Queen of Swords did flip out in reverse when I was shuffling here. So curious to see where that goes. Right. So Aquarius. Reading for Aquarius energy for Friday's reading. I'm seeing the cogs shifting again, which means, to me, that means the universe is like aligning things. They've stopped now. It's like this alignment happening, and then it's like it's settled. Okay, I've got my eyes shut, which is why I was just feeling for cards there. Aquarius, Friday, shadow reading, please. What is Aquarius's shadow at the moment? What does Aquarius need to work on? Love, 2 of Cups. I'm immediately hearing like healing a love connection. There's 2 lotus blossoms on this. The lotus flower came out quite strongly in a Cappy's reading. Kind of like a fountain. They gave me, as I saw the fountain, they gave me Fountain of Love. And then very quickly they gave me Roller Coaster of Love, which is a Red Hot Chili Peppers song. It's still going. Your love is like a roller coaster, baby. So yeah, somebody could be like wild mood swings. Your love's like a roller coaster. Healing that. What's on the underlying? Ace of Pentacles. Maybe someone wants to get on the roller coaster. Someone else had roller coasters. Who was it? I'm just having a quick look. Was it Scorpio? If Scorpio had a woman on a roller coaster, that feels like paying. That feels like the money for the ticket for the roller coaster, right? Roller coaster of love. Do you want to ride love's roller coaster, Aquarius? Are you seeing love as something fun to explore rather than something to fear? You know, it's all in the outlook, isn't it? It's all in the approach. If you're going on a roller coaster, you could be like, I'm scared of this roller coaster. Or you could be like, whoa, roller coaster, let's have a fun ride. So, your shadow, Aquarius. I'm reading from the book here. Just to kind of quickly say, this is the Mirror of the Soul deck by Aleister Crowley. It's actually a really good deck. It was given to me as a gift, and I googled who Aleister Crowley was and found all sorts of like scary things. So the deck scared me at first, but it's like the Devil card. And again, it like this thing about and you know, the shadow side. It's all in the approach. It's there. We can refuse to look at it, and it's going to manifest in weird ways, or we can understand it and deal with it and process it and use it to empower us. So it's all in the approach. And I'm not saying like we should all go and do like mad, you know, dark spells or anything like that. You know, obviously be good people. But for me, it works really, really well as a deck for shadow work, because it's actually very, I don't know. I'm just going to read it. You can make up your own mind about it. So your shadow, Aquarius, Venus in Cancer. Oh, that is very, very like, Venus is the goddess of love, and Cancer is like the divine feminine energy. Like very, very feminine energy, very yin, right? Venus in Cancer, receptive love, happy relationships, and emotional exchange. So your shadow work lies in, I think, understanding what a happy, balanced, healthy relationship is, and something that is not healthy. So you could also have a Venus in Cancer placement. That's worth looking up. There's a link in the description box below for a free birth chart service. I'm not affiliated in any kind of way. It's just what I use. You can go and find your birth chart and just find Venus and see what your Venus placement is. Somebody could have Venus in Cancer. It's very watery. It's a very emotional placement. A bit clingy. If you love yourself, you are attractive to others. Your receptiveness towards yourself prepares you to give yourself totally to someone else. So everybody should be in like 9 of Cups, 9 of Pentacles energy, first for themselves, in order to enter into a healthy relationship with somebody else who's in that energy, because that means you're self-sufficient. You're not codependent in any kind of way. Your happiness is your own. You have the emotional control over your own emotions, and nobody has that kind of ownership over you to like, you don't blame others for the way you feel. You don't see yourself as a victim of others. You see yourself as somebody who has that empowerment within them to be like, do you know what, that person has shadow work to do. I'm not going to let their behavior affect my emotional balance. So it's there's this maturity and independence in terms of your emotional space and your tangible reality, right? You know, you can stand on your own 2 feet in many different ways, and when you're like that as a person, you attract people who are also like that, and you can make those healthy choices in love. If you're out of balance in any sort of way, if you're codependent in any sort of way, you're going to end up getting into codependent relationships. That's why you see people who are like, you know, who are like both partners are alcoholics, because they enable each other. So, and that's codependency. So there's a difference between interdependency, where you work with somebody, and codependency, where you keep each other trapped, right? Is your relationship with other people, and it doesn't have to be a partner, it doesn't have to be a love relationship, it can be family, it can be friends, it can be business. Do you enable others? Do others enable you to, you know, what are people enabling? Are they enabling your strengths, or are they enabling your weaknesses? Something there for you. A deep emotional exchange will be possible, a giving and receiving of overflowing love. The union occurs in complete harmony, as symbolized by the entwined fishes. 2 lotus blossoms rise out of the mud and bloom. The cups are filled and overflowed, and symbolizing the overflowing emotional riches present. This is an image of complete joy and silent ecstasy. The water is still and the sky is clear and blue. Deep joy, yellow, flows into the emotions, water, and the energy of renewal, green, permeates them. Compare the 2 of swords. Thoughts are free and clear, blue sky. Seen through the eyes of love, the world appears transformed. Okay, this is really interesting about the water and the blue sky. My daughter asked me to pull a card for her earlier, and I pulled out the High Priestess card for her, and she said, oh, that's really interesting. I think there was water on the card, or one of the cards that I pulled, and she said, that's really interesting because I saw, so she sees things like I do. She said, I saw, you know, black water, like a black ocean. And I was saying, well, why was it black? Was it because it was nighttime, which would symbolize to me hidden emotions? Or was it that the water was murky and dirty, which would symbolize that person really needs to do some shadow work in terms of their emotions? And she said it was just black. It was just like completely black water. She said, I think it was night, but the water was black. So yeah, that talks about somebody who has, to me, a huge amount of shadow work to do. Like, their emotions are not clear to them whatsoever. So but here the sky's blue and the water's clear, so this is happy, healthy relationships. So we'll make of that what we will in terms of your shadow energy. What does that mean to you? What parts of yourself do you need to work on? Do you keep entering into relationships that aren't healthy? How much do you value your independence? Are you willing to work collaboratively with others equally? So something there. Indications. So Aquarius, your readiness to receive love makes you attractive. Surrender to yourself, to others, and to life. So feels like there's some kind of secrecy regarding who you love, again with this kind of public private thing. There may be some resistance to entering into some sort of relationship or expressing love for other people, because you're scared of or not so much scared, but there's this thing about independence, right? And feeling trapped by people knowing your intentions. But this says surrender. So what's making you hold back? The question posed by the book is, with which persons, in which surroundings can you now share your love? Yeah, that's what I was picking up on, right? So you do love, you do have these relationships in your life, but you have to be careful about who you share that information with, who you open your heart to, who you tell, you know, who is in that circle. I feel like this came through for Scorpio and Capricorn as well, because they had the 3 of Cups. And then there was this kind of like, it was like a secret group of people who loved each other that was coming through. And again, it doesn't have to be, I'm sorry, I keep banging the front of my drawers here. So yeah, it feels like hidden love, but it's not hidden in, it's almost like, it's like a needs to know basis, right? It's like, you're not going to announce it publicly because that would restrict you, which you don't want. So it's not coming through as bad in any sort of way. It's just coming through as hidden, because because it's hidden, you have the freedom, you have the personal freedom, which is important to Aquarian energy. Suggestion: pay attention to the love, because it's not about everybody else, is it? It's just about you and that group, or you and that person, you and your friends. So it's not, there's no reason why anyone else would need to know about it. It's the way it's coming through, like for you. Pay attention to the love coming to you now. Remain open. Oh, this next line, Aquarius. Remain open, Aquarius, and let it enter you and go deep inside. I can't read that line and not get lewd thoughts. Affirmation: there is nothing to do but enjoy what life offers. I am now ready to let into my life the love relationships which will fulfill me. All right, maybe that's what you need, but maybe you need a bit of time and space to be able to do that, to be able to fully open up, to fully blossom. Aquarius, tell me more about Aquarius's shadow work that they need to be doing. I mean, it feels like you've done the shadow work. It feels like you're pretty healthy, to be honest, but you're coming to terms with how you feel and what that means to you, right? How is that going to work for you? All about yourself, Aquarius, aren't you? Just thinking about yourself, not the other people and what they need. Sorry, I'm joking. I'm joking, but am I joking? Is that a trigger? Apocalypsis. That's like annihilation energy. That's like scorpionic energy there on the bottom. It's almost like the tower and the death card. I'm not trying to scare anyone, but I would say that that's removing things from your life that don't work for you. Relationships that are codependent perhaps are falling away now, and you're coming into something that's much brighter. If you just compare the image of these two cards, oh, look at the siren and the unseen. Oh, do you have someone sexy on the side, Aquarius? Are you up to something, honey? The siren and the unseen. Aquarius, what am I going to do with you? I'm just thinking about what's been coming through for your last few readings. Do you know what? Just don't hurt anyone, right? Just don't hurt people. Don't. Whatever you're up to, make sure everybody's on the same page. Everybody understands, everybody involved understands what the situation is. Everybody has the right expectations. There's no hidden things going on. You're not, because there's a difference between being, you don't want to generate bad karma for yourself. So say you were in a committed relationship with somebody and you wanted to spend some time with whoever this is for you. If you're in an open relationship and this person knows what that is, then that's fine. Maybe you don't want to announce that to the world because the world might not understand. I'm getting a song. I can't quite get it. It's something to do with the world won't understand. Might make a note of it and come back to it. It's bugging me. I can't quite get it. Yeah, because if you have a partner and that partner thinks that you're in a one-to-one committed relationship and you're running around like having a piece on the side, then you're building bad karma because you're hurting that person that you're in a relationship with that thinks the situation is one thing and it's not. So Don't build bad karma for yourself. It's not for me to tell you what to do, though, as well. This is the thing. It's for me to read to you, read the cards to you. And I mean, this looks really, really good. This looks really, really good. And it's normal to want to move towards this if you have situations in your life that aren't so great, right? Okay, I'm gonna, no judgment. I'm not judging anyone in these readings. Humans are interesting creatures, and we have a lot of different belief systems. You can be from different countries and find different belief systems. Different religions have different belief systems. Where are we in harmony with other people, and where are the conflicts, and why? So that's me being a very diplomatic Libra. It's like, you believe one thing, you believe another thing. As long as you're not hurting each other, it's fine. Just go and do you. Okay, the soul, the witness, the watcher. The self is the prism that allows the spectrum of our personalities to radiate. It does not judge. It does not judge. I'm a Libra. Listen, even though I'm the scales in the tarot, right? Even though I'm like the justice card and it's my job to judge, I'm not going to judge you for your choices. It does not judge, prohibit, suppress, or oppress any of its parts, as it lovingly knows that all aspects have a time and a place, space and time, and leads us to experience the full breadth of life's offerings. The self is the central abiding container, the awareness of the infinite universe of possibilities. When this card appears, it is a call to step back into witness consciousness, to observe yourself navigating the world. Ask yourself, am I the stew or am I the chef? In most situations, our ego draws us to the cauldron where we swirl, spin, and smoulder in chaos. Yet the self is a graceful culinary dancer, watching, waiting, observing as the spectrum of ingredients become the flavour of our life. Look in the mirror for 30 seconds or more. I'm getting the clicky nose thing again. Sometimes I get it, and it's like, it does tend to be like towards the tail end of readings when it comes through. It could be just someone with nose issues, right? Maybe they've broken nose at some point. Maybe it's like hay fever. Look in the mirror for 30 seconds or more. Attempt to see the you behind the you. Okay, so it says when light. So maybe this is something you can work towards. Witnessing, accepting new aspects of life. But when dark, and this is the shadow work, right? Disjointed, fatigued, diffused energy and purpose. Go deeper, watch Robert Bly and read Kabir's poem, This Clay Jug. If this card is perplexing for you, you are on the right track. It challenges us to expand our sense of identity beyond the little self, and the ego resists such movement. So that is, it's funny that I mentioned Freud, right? Because I think he did develop the id, the ego, and the super ego. Now we have to exist in the ego, because I think the id is like almost like the base instincts, and the super ego is very Aquarian, and it is kind of like I'm above base emotions. But the ego brings the two together. That's the way it's been coming through in my readings anyway. I only briefly have dipped my toes into philosophy, so yeah, there's a little bit more there. I don't know if they just corrected me, because maybe it's not philosophy, because I just heard psychoanalytics. So I don't know if that's the proper name for it, or if they just were telling me something else, but there you go. It's no surprise that two central mantras in the yoga tradition, funny I mentioned yoga as well, like Buddhism, in the yoga tradition, concern themselves with the self. Experiment with Soham, I am that, and Sat Nam, true identity. So you may want to go and do some what's it called? I did it the other day. I say the other day, it was a couple of weeks ago now. Sat Nam. It's something yoga. It's like a specific type of yoga that opens the chakras, and you do all this kind of breathing work, like It's quite fun, actually. It's the first time I've ever done it, but it was really, really fun. So maybe you want to go and look that up. Okay, cool. Satnam, true identity. True identity. But you're being very secretive about it. Okay, so that's where your shadow lies. So whatever that brings up for you, that's what you're working on or towards, right? How can we help Aquarius on this journey? Oh, that was quite a few. I feel like I really need to see this one. Magic and manifestation. I feel like it's not about these two as much, but I will look at them. Emergence. Oh, wow. And divine feminine. All right, we're keeping those. We're keeping those out. The emergence of the divine feminine. That's cool. Show me that again. Magic and manifestation. Like, I don't know why I'm so drawn to it. Okay, let's just keep it. And courage. So that feels like the courage to show the world the real you, right? The courage to truly be yourself and truly be authentic, and to allow other people to see that. So it could be just with that Arthur and Martha as well. Now it could be that you, to the world, you present as one gender and inside you feel like a different gender. Coming to terms with that yourself, ready to be authentic. It could be that you identify as they rather than he or she. It could be that you are just getting more in touch with your feminine side, you know, allowing that feminine side to come through. Again, we had that very, very feminine energy there of Venus in Cancer. So, yeah. They're giving me a song. They're giving me Ed Sheeran. This is the start of something beautiful. This is the start of something beautiful. I'm just making a note. Is the start of something new. And they're drawing my attention again to the flowers opening. Like the flowers opening and your true self coming out. There's a link with Cappy's reading. Because Cappy had, it was this thing that I saw ages ago, and it was like this crystal lotus flower, and it was opening up. But when you put the petals together, can you see here? It's like if you imagine the petals were closed, it'd almost have that kind of like pineapple-like, or you know, dragon egg. If you think of like a scaled dragon egg, it's like when it's an egg, it's like a dragon's egg. It's closed, but it unfurls. What's the unfurling? There's something about the word unfurl. That's a song. Lotus unfurl. I'm going to look that up and put it. Lotus unfurl. I'm going to put that in the description box below when I figure out what that is. So it's this emergence, right? It's like the egg opens and the divine feminine emerges in like their true self, their true form. There's a link there. What is that? Oh my gosh, look at this. Gaia. It's like that's what's coming out of the shell, right? Look at that. Look at that image. It's really beautiful. I'm just going to put that there. So but it takes courage. It takes whatever it is, it takes. Your reading's really interesting. I don't know what it means to you, but it's very beautiful. Very, very beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna read all three. What time are we on? I'm trying to do shorter readings and it's just not happening. So 32 could be a significant number. We've got it's like a countdown. 32, 31. It feels like it's getting closer to the time for, they're giving me unfurling again for this unfurling. Oh, what is this? I'm so curious. So curious. Right. Divine Feminine. It's time to stop playing, Aquarius. It's time to stop playing small and claim your place within the circle of light. The Divine Feminine is the smallest dragon I have yet encountered. She appeared near the time of the summer solstice. Near the time of the summer solstice, and her counterpart is Herne, who symbolizes the divine masculine. He's not here though. She is here to connect you to your divine feminine energy. She told me, you possess everything you need for your existence on earth. All you need to do is accept and understand it. So Aquarius, don't worry how you identify she, he, or they. If you think about yin yang, right, we all have both this divine feminine and divine masculine energy within us. There is a little bit of gender politics here where, you know, there is a bit of stereotyping in the language that people use in tarot readings and these kind of messages. But just try and put that on one side for a second. It just means when people say divine feminine, it just means the more nurturing side of ourselves, the more traditionally motherly energy, loving, motherly, soft, gentle, supportive, rather than the yang kind of divine masculine energy, which is more forceful, which takes the lead, which forges the path, and, you know, is more like that kind of king energy. So there is stereotyping here. Try and put that on the side for a second and take gender out of the equation and see yourself as a whole with both. And this is talking about the softer side of yourself. Okay, so when we begin to realize that we no longer have to look outside ourselves for answers, that's what I was saying right at the beginning, for answers and approval, or feel the need for possessions, we can begin honoring ourselves as spiritual human beings. We are exactly who we need to be and where we need to be at any moment. Divine Feminine brings a sense of acceptance when we find ourselves at a crossroads and assures us that we have infinite resources to see us through. Often she appears around the solstices or equinoxes, or at times when we are coming up to a completion of a cycle. Sorry, it reminded me it's the Lionsgate portal where the sun is in its home sign of Leo. So you could look that up and find out more about that. It talks about abundance. She guides us to keep our faith and stay true to ourselves, following our inner guidance during transitional times. Maybe somebody's transitioning. Although Divine Feminine is the smallest of all the dragons, she carries an immense power, and this is her message to you. It matters not how small you may feel on the inside. In truth, you are more powerful than you could ever begin to imagine. This power is deep within you, and you know intuitively what is required of you. It's time to stop playing small and claim your place within the circle of light so that you shine. Others are drawn to you, like the sunrise on summer solstice morning, so own it. It is yours. Own it without fear or ego, but with acceptance and grace. The baby's crying next door. I don't know if you can hear that. And it's my nurturing side comes out every time I hear them cry. I'm like, I just want to mother. I just want to mother the baby. It's just like that mothering instinct, right? She allows us for the first time to acknowledge and touch a feeling of personal power, for she encourages a deep trust in the divine, which settles itself comfortably in our being. That's really interesting as well, because it says intuitively you'll know what to do, and that is a very feminine response to you know, from being a mother, from, you know, breastfeeding my own children. It's a very natural response for me now to be, there's a baby crying, I need to nurture it, you know. And it does talk about that instinctive response, like you'll know what to do in the time. Obviously, I'm not going to go next door and breastfeed my neighbour's baby because that'd be creepy, but the instinctiveness that came with that means something. Okay, Gaia, have courage to stand up for what you believe in your heart to be true. The dragon Gaia is the earth keeper and carries Gaia's ancient knowledge deep within her. She is one of the oldest dragons yet to come to earth. I am the etheric body of your planet, and I urge you to protect her and all who dwell upon her. I will guide you into restoring balance. What is done cannot be undone, and alas, some things are gone forever. Have courage to stand up for what you believe in your heart to be true, and I will stand with you. You can be that change. Call upon her support when you are working on a new project and need to anchor its energy fully. You can invoke her wisdom when any form of group work is taking place to anchor the collective vibration to the planet. Make use of her grounding energy. She is also here now to help ground the frequencies of the fifth dimension and above, which are coming into our consciousness. She will guide us when we are ready to reignite that light on the Earth's grids. The deep healing this invokes will help Gaia and us as humans to build peace on Earth and a future that is sustainable. I feel so grounded in your reading. I feel very, very like yesterday when I did Cappy's reading, I was all over the place. It was like the thoughts were firing constantly. Like I couldn't finish one thought without getting a first one. So, but now it's like grounded. Okay, so let's read emergence. It's like the emergence of the divine feminine, right? It's like almost this energy of like, look what, you know, false emperors, like the negative patriarchy, there's positive and negative. The negative patriarchy has done to the planet. The people who abuse their power, the people who put money and things above nature, you know, people who damage the planet through their own greed. Look what humans are doing to the world. Like this feels like that kind of Mother Earth energy coming back up and making itself known in the planet and saying, let's nurture things instead of destroying them, right? Because there's the destruction. That's what needs to end. Emergence. Okay. You are responsible for your life, your behavior, and your experiences, and more importantly, how you react to them. That's what I said right at the beginning. Sometimes, as spiritual beings, we find our human experience on earth can be quite tough. Listen to the wisdom of emergence. As he says, it's time to reflect. You need to take stock of what you value and what's important to you. Contemplation and quietness are required. Your experiences may have been vexing. It is unwise to dwell on them, but you can learn from them. Understand those you need to remember and let all others go. From this place is a vibrant new you. From this place, a vibrant new you can emerge. But first, you must allow yourself time to reflect. Go within to that inner place of peace and bring forth that which you wish to be. Yeah, because you need space and time, right? It's funny again because Capricorn had Father Time as one of their dragons, which was like, time's not real. Like, time's a human construct. It's not, no, there's no such thing as time, was the way it was coming through in their reading. It's like you've got all the time in the world. This dragon appears when we need to take a long, hard look at ourselves and how we live, what we do, and more harshly, our behaviour. None of the dragons are a pushover. They all demand that we take stock of ourselves, stop kidding ourselves, and are openly honest. And emergence is no different. He gets straight to the nitty-gritty and informs you that you are responsible for your life, your behaviour, and your experiences, and more importantly, how you react to them. Grit and determination are the order of the day when this powerful dragon finds its way into your cards. He finishes with, remember, you are safe with me. Your fears are nothing but paper tigers and figments of your imagination. Allow me to guide you as you find your balance and carve a new path. Okay, where is this taking Aquarius? What a great reading. Quite, it makes a lot of sense as well, right? Oh, that's maybe a bit too much. Libra also had this, Sisterhood of the Rose. So I'll show you what you've got and we'll go again. Sisterhood of the Rose, beauty, devotion, priestess, mystic, teacher. I mean, I feel like, yes, the great gathering, it's all coming together. I feel like this is it. I'm just going to, where are you being called to journey to? The great gathering, it's all coming together. Intuitive hits, soul tribe. Can you see everything? Let's move everything over a little bit. Soul tribe, the Sisterhood of the Rose, divine feminine coming together. They're showing me that I don't know if it's a particular song, but they're showing me, no, it is a song. Marina and the Diamonds. It's a song where I don't know why they're showing it me rather than me hearing it, because normally I hear songs, but they're showing me the video. It's like these women walking through a desert. I'm just making notes. Marina and Diamonds. And it is a song. It is that exact message of like, people have been destroying the planet. this feminine energy is coming back together to restore harmony, restore the balance. Now that doesn't mean that, you know, it's just women coming together and the men are denied. You know, don't be thinking, oh my God, I'm a man, am I going to suddenly get subjugated by all these women? No. You know, people can have a choice of, and I know an Aquarius actually who's very much like this, an Aquarian man who's very liberal, very into gender politics and supportive of women, and interested in learning more about like what it means to be a woman in today's world. You know, very open to learning. You know, about a experience that they're not, an experience that's not available to them, you know, as somebody who identifies as male and is born a man. So you know, there's a choice where men can either be like, you know, I'm on board, and that's the true meaning of feminism. I'm on board. I'm also embracing my own feminine side within me. Even though I identify as a man, I'm going to be more nurturing. I'm going to be more collaborative. I'm going to be more supportive. I'm going to help raise the vibration of the earth, especially in this feminine way, in this, you know, embracing this Gaia-like energy, or Gaia-like energy. You know, I'm part of this movement. Or you could be like threatened. You know, I think sometimes people are threatened by this. They're like, all this talk of like women uprising or the feminine uprising, that scares me. That makes me feel like I'm going to lose my power, that I'm going to lose my position. I'm going to, you know, I feel like, I think a lot of the time as well, men can often feel like they're being attacked just for being born a man. It's like, I was born a man, you know, identify as male. I'm not a bad person. I support women, but all of a sudden I feel like I'm being attacked for having a certain appendage. Like, and I think that's when people feel, you know, that's when people get salty, and that's when people, you know, start to cause trouble and say, oh, feminism, blah, because they feel threatened, because they feel like they're being called out for something that they're not. So, and that's part of the divine feminine, to be understanding, to say, I understand that you feel this way. Let's figure out how we can get on the same team here. Let's find some common ground. That's a very, you know, feminine energy. So yeah. So however you identify, I think get on board this, because it's the way that the universal energy is moving, and it's going to suit you to be part of the next wave, right? Rather than find yourself thrown out of it because you feel threatened and you've got very kind of stereotypical views that you're clinging onto. So, you know, there's no reason why men can't be part of the sisterhood of the rose. You know, it's just embracing this very beautiful, very loving energy that's trying to come through in the world. And, you know, if we take gender out of that, why wouldn't you embrace that? It's beautiful, it's healing, it's supportive, it's gorgeous. Let's all get, we all need more of that. Awakening, energetic upgrades, a new way of being, integration. I'm not surprised this is coming out for you as well, because again, a lot of the big slow moving planets have been transitioning from Capi, which is a very patriarchal energy, into it's ruled by Saturn, and Saturn's like the hard hitter. It's like the tough daddy of the zodiac, and all these planets are now moving into Aquarius. And if you think of like the age of Aquarius, it's much more liberal and much more progressive, much more community based, rather than the pyramid of patriarchy. So it's just the way the energy is moving, and it makes sense that it's coming out for your reading. So there you go. The initiation, rite of passage, crossing the threshold. So the great gathering and the initiation into the sisterhood of the rose with an energetic awakening. It's pretty cool. Mintakan, longing for home, belonging, the original light workers. So I think where you're going, you're going to feel at home. You're going to feel supportive. You're going to be embraced. You're going to allow yourself to be embraced by these nurturing energies, and you're going to be able to feed that back, right, and nurture and embrace others. It's very beautiful, very, very beautiful. So gorgeous reading, Aquarius. I think I feel very comfortable leaving it there. And sorry, I just looked at this card. And I'm hearing, it takes two, baby. It takes two, baby. Me and you. Again, it's like, it feels like the masculine now supporting the feminine, where normally traditionally the feminine supports the masculine. You know, there's a more supportive role there. I think there's a reversal here where the emperor now masculine energy men step back and say, not we're going to allow you to do it, but here you go. We've made space for you to rise. You know, we're going to encourage you. We're going to support you. We're going to cheer you on as you go and do what you need to do. So yeah, it takes two. It takes teamwork. And that could be within yourself, right? That you've owned two sides within yourself there as well. But no more of this. No more of this. Aquarius, take care. Thank you for sharing that reading with me. It was a really, really good one. Do follow, subscribe, and subscribing is free, by the way. There's no cost on YouTube to hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell so you know when my readings go live. Leave me a like if you liked, and leave me a comment if you have anything constructive to say. I'd love to hear it. And if you are coming in as a stealth watcher and you're on board, brilliant, you're welcome here too. And those watch hours really help my channel. They're totting up there. Yeah, that's great. All right, do take care, and I'll see you again soon. Best of luck with that. That looks fantastic. Keep doing whatever it is you're doing, because you're doing something really good. And I will see you again soon. Do take care. Bye bye, Aquarius.